video off, so I'm not double
Oh yeah.
dipping in it.
What's good, y'all? You know who it is. It's your boy, Big Tank Hank, coming at you with another live stream. And to everybody that I've had live streams with, my guests, I loved y'all. I loved y'all being here and everything. But I was really, really excited about this one. And I think you'll understand, by the time we get finished exactly why. My guest for tonight is Peter, the Guppy Guru.
How's it going, everybody? Excited to be here.
Thank you. We're glad to see you here, man. We're glad to see you here. Let me see. Pet side.
Excited to be here.
There we go. I thought I turned it down.
It happens
Pet
every
side
time.
Ace. Yeah, right? Pet side Ace, welcome. Atkins, I see you, bro. Chad Protz, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, all right. We're gonna go and get started. All right, Peter. I like, for people to let the get let the people in the chat see a little bit inside of who you are as a man. Who is Peter Dobbs?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I'm 26 years old. I've lived in Utah almost my whole life. I lived in Vegas for a little bit, working for a tech company down there. Moved back to Utah, so I'm still in Salt Lake. Um, Grew up here in Utah. I haven't really moved anywhere. Um, my parents divorced when I was like 6 years old, which was really rough. That was one of the hardest times of my whole family's life, really. Very, very difficult time for all of us. A lot of like emotional stuff and tragic moments, and really, it was really deep. My brother is older than me. He's 3 years older than me. He got hit a lot harder with it emotionally because he was older. He could process a lot more than I could. I could kind of just pass it off as I was 6 years old, and
Right.
so he retained a lot of that, unfortunately. So he's a little bit. He has more issues and scars than I do, luckily. But I was able to turn to multiple things in order to kind of ease that stress that I was having as a child and going into young adult and teenager. So I did a lot of art. So I did a lot of artwork. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be an artist of some kind,
Okay.
which was is always had been my passion until I got into fish, and fish is now my thing. But I still do art as well along with it, but it's more kind of my own thing. I did do a painting, my guppy video when I first started. That went like 11,000 views or something, and people went crazy. They thought I actually painted my fish. Um, but yeah, art was kind of my release, my sanctuary, my kind of my safe zone. So I did a lot of art for a really really long time, and then I was 13, and actually my the co-owner of our fish collective, Ian, got me into Young Life, which I don't know if you know what Young Life is, Jarek.
We had the
Uh,
magazines. My son was in Young Life.
yeah, so Young Life, I became a leader for Young Life when I was in my first year of high school. So I was a leader all throughout high school for all the junior high kids, and then a little bit after high school as well. So there was a lot of Christian teachings that kind of helped me become who I am today. Very much calmed me down, really relaxed me, inner thoughts, just my general like persona and who I am, and kind of who I want to be to other people and who I would like other people to be back to me. And that's kind of how I portray who I am and what I want in the world. So it's really kind of that was a big turning point because I could have gone one of two directions. Being a kid from a broken family with a lot of family issues, to going the complete opposite direction and having this like incredible way to help other kids and go through all the situations that I was going through, and really realize that we can work through these if we have a support system. And that's where, the fish community has been so great now. I've kind of gotten away from the Young Life stuff because a lot of the people that I grew up in with it have moved on into other situations in their lives. And so it was just kind of time for me to move on to my next thing. But here I am on FishTube and doing my fish thing. Also, I'm I have a heart condition as well. So it's called long QT syndrome. So I was born with it. My mom has it. My uncle had it. My cousins got it. My grandma had it. And what it is, it's pretty much like a heart murmur. So I can't do very strenuous activities. So no running, no, football, none of that. My dad was a huge football player. Like I was telling you earlier, he's 6'6", like 300 pounds. He played for the University of Utah. So big boy. My brother's a big guy. He's 6'2", like I want to say 280, 290. So he's kind of a bigger guy than me too. But I kind of got my mom's side of the genetics, which she's 5'2". So I'm kind of on her, more on her end of the scale. But yeah, that heart condition also kind of put a different twist on who I kind of had to be in my life. So everything I've had to do has been more mental, more emotional than more physical. So a lot more of a processing life than anything else. So that's where fish has really been awesome, because it's a consistent thing that I can always check in on. But I know that if it's done correctly, I can just kind of come back to it when I need it. So yeah, so that's kind of just a quick synopsis of my life up to today. So
Okay.
yeah.
Hey, well, like I said earlier, I said that you hit the ground with rocket boots on.
Yeah.
Let the people know exactly how long you've been around YouTube and the fish community, because I'm pretty sure it looked the same way to a lot of them as it did.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I was just like watching, like, no premium account, nothing, just watching everybody's stuff for a couple years. And I've talked about this a few times, where I was just watching people's videos and watching live streams and, aquarium co-ops, and like my friend, Weldon Tanks, I've been watching all of his stuff since he started. And he's a local guy to me. So we're really good friends now. We hang out all the time. But there's been a lot of channels that have really helped me learn all these kind of the mistakes that they made and how not to make them. And I've learned from situations from other fellow hobbyists for a couple of years. So when I started in, I kind of started in a little slow on Instagram. I think in June, July, I started my Instagram under the name Guppy Guru, and which was really awesome that I was able to get that name. I was just giddy. I was a little kid pretty much when I got that name. I ran up to my fiance. I'm like, I got the name Guppy Guru. Can you believe it? She's like, okay, it's cool. It's a great name. And I'm like, yeah, but it's so good. It's so good. And so, and then she was like, okay, whatever. So I started doing the Instagram thing, and then someone commented and was like, hey, you should just make a YouTube video on that so we know what you're doing. I was like, okay. So I made a YouTube video real quick, and it did okay. And then I started making another one, and then another one, and then it snowballed into all of this in a year. So it went from my first official tank that I had since really learning about the hobby in June to now I have, I think, 50 tanks and 5 ponds. So a quick process from 1 to 100 for me.
Right.
I have a too much genetic, and I can't tell myself no, which is sometimes a problem. But I'll definitely put an addiction into something as good as this, for sure.
Most definitely. Very few of us are going to be angry with you right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if someone's going to be addicted to something, this is definitely the hobby and or the thing to be addicted to, I would say, for sure.
When are we going to see those ponds?
So the ponds, well, now it's I think, it's probably 30 degrees outside right now. So everything is almost freezing over.
Winter already?
Already winter. Yeah, we're getting snow on Sunday. Yeah, snow on Sunday. It is currently 41 degrees right now, and today's low is going to be 38. And then it's snowing on Sunday with a low of 18 degrees.
Man.
So everything's already winterized. I didn't even have enough time, with the whole garage build 2.0 coming in and all this stuff that we were talking about, the import and everything that I just got in. I didn't even have any time to really film winterizing ponds. So it just I just had to do it so that I could save the fish that are out there. But all the guppies and everything came in when I had that really big windstorm that rolled through. We call it the Category 4 land hurricane. Is what we're calling it here in Utah. We had like 112 mile an hour winds. Power went out for 3 days. Temperatures dropped down into like the 30s. It went from 92 to 39 in a day. So the ponds were really warm, like awesome, no heaters, nothing. And then we lost power and the temp dropped. So I had to rush out there and get everything out and bring them all in. I think I only missed like 1 or 2 guppies out of the big pond, but nothing really going on out there right now because it's just the goldfish and the koi that are really left outside. But next spring is going to be definitely pond season. So this year was kind of just setting them up. Next year will be, let's talk about these. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how did you make a decision of what guppies you wanted in your pond?
So I did all of my mutts in the 270 gallon pond. I wanted to really see what could happen there. Cause I had some cool colored males, some really beautiful colored females. So I just wanted to kind of see what variety we could get out of them. I threw a couple of the purple Dumbos. A couple of the males are going to throw reds no matter what you do, even if you have a pure line. So I threw a couple of the red Dumbos and some of the Dumbo females in there to kind of see if that could mix in a little bit, give me some larger fins. And it did. So I just mostly mutts out there. And then Ian brought me down a trio of his metalhead green lace, which were really beautiful. But they went out there like a week before that windstorm came through, so they weren't outside very long. So I didn't get much out of them. And then I ordered a bunch of ranchus on Amazon and lost almost all of them except for one, which was a really big bummer because they're the cutest little fish in the world. And I've got some nice koi out there. And then I went to Petco and just bought some, or PetSmart, and just went and bought some like Orandas and just your standard goldfish that anybody's going to get, just to have some in a stock tank out back.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite strain right now that you have?
My favorite strain, I think, is just the Dumbo strains in general. But then again, I haven't seen a guppy that I am not like, oh God, that's gorgeous. Like I said, I have a problem. I honestly think that Dumbos are my favorite just because they tend to have more of a personality. I think it's because they're a little bit slower in their movement. And so that way they kind of interact a little bit more with you because they kind of have to. But then again, there's some really just absolutely gorgeous fish that are coming out of Thailand and Japan, and some of the U.S. breeders here, like the IFGA lines. Some of them are beyond gorgeous, and they, it takes 30, 40 years to make some of these strains. So it's more the process that intrigues me than anything. And I think that's what really, like, some of my fish I won't sell because they were given to me by local club members or friends or whatever, and they spent 5-6 years building that line, and I don't want to give those up to someone and have them come in and try to beat them at a show because that would suck for them.
Right.
So there's a couple of fish in here that won't ever go up for sale. They're just going to be my passion little fishies. I've got some beautiful red albinos from a local club member who's been working on, I think, that line for 8 years. And then I got some American greens from Susan, which is really cool. And then I got some really awesome metalhead blue grass from HC Aqua, which those are really beautiful as well. I really love blue and purple fish though. Blue and purple. Blue is my favorite color, so that has a deciding factor there for me.
Okay. Let me see. Did I freeze up over there? Oh, no.
No, you're good. Yeah.
So, our fish collected.
Yes.
How did it come to be?
Well, so like I said earlier, Ian and I have known each other for a really long time. I've actually known Ian, who started Salt City Aquatics, since I think we were 2 or 3 when we first met. We were little kids. And then we re-met again when we went to the same school, in elementary school. And then we went through all of elementary together, junior high, high school. and actually went to college together too, which is pretty cool. And then we kind of separated, went on our own life paths and everything. And then I started making Instagram posts and YouTube videos, and he saw it and he was like, "Hey, I do shrimp, and I've got a website that sells shrimp. Do you want to throw some fish on there?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." And so I started selling fish on Salt City Aquatics, and then me and him just over time, I started kind of telling him what I wanted to do and how I wanted to like really increase the hobby and give people more of a backing in selling their own fish and it's Salt City. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, if you're willing to do that, that's great. So we both sat down and we kind of hashed it all out and figured it out and came up with the new name, Our Fish Collective, and away we went. And 3 months after we really started the process, we launched the new site, and it's changing every single day. We're adding something new, and we're now talking with maybe some web designers to see if there's a couple new features we can add to it. We want to add like some donation tabs in there for people as well. So if they want to donate to a good cause, they can. We're trying to do some really cool stuff that not a whole lot of people have been able to do. And I'm really excited to see where it'll go with the hobby.
Man, I really like the idea. I may have to stick my blonde enders on there.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, everyone's welcome. We don't stop anyone from joining up. The only thing we say is that you have to just send us a test shipment, because we want to make sure that everyone's like doing the best possible job. And then when we get that test shipment, we can say, hey, look, let's change this up a little bit. And it kind of gives people really good feedback. And that's kind of the nice part, is that we're there to help out. So we like have everything printed out. We have like all the flyers, little care guides, everything, stickers, all of it. We make people logos. Like I personally have made, I think like 10 logos for different channels, which has been really fun. So I like work with people back and forth to make their logos for them. And then we'll get them stickers at a really good price, and we add people's merch on the site when they start to sell. So there's a lot of really like cool little things that we're trying to do for everybody, on top of being able to help them sell their stuff, which is really cool. Like we had Carson Green just became a seller on the site, and within the first like 7 minutes of posting up his fish, he sold like 3 orders, which was so cool. He was so thrilled. So that was really cool to see that kind of stuff where people are jumping on and seeing someone else's fish that, you know, aren't mine, they aren't Ian's, and they're loving them and they're buying them and they're getting shipped, and it's just the coolest thing ever. And I love it. I don't care if I sell a fish ever, because it's so cool to see other people selling fish.
Right.
It really like, it makes me feel really good to know that other people are as interested in everybody else's stuff, because I can't keep everything. You know, I can't keep every bed of fish. I can't keep every guppy. It's just not going to happen. And therefore, like, your fish, you can sell them, and someone can get your awesome strain, which I am in love with. When you posted the video of them, they're like, ooh, those are really, really nice. So Chad's question here, am I working on my own strain? If so, what color fin shape are you working toward? So I was working on one a while back, but then I kind of went down too many rabbit holes and bought way too many fish. So I kind of had to kibosh that line and throw it into my mutt tank, which is nice because there's some really good mutt colorations, but it was the lava guppy. So it was like a variegated blue-red line tail. It was going to be really a beautiful fish. I just didn't have the space at the time, because at that time I only had the 1 rack and the 75 gallon. So I didn't have the 50 tanks I have now, because I wasn't prepared for that at that time. I wasn't thinking I was going to go that big. I was thinking, you know, this might be okay. Like maybe I'll get 100 subs or whatever, and people will just kind of like watching me every once in a while. But I wasn't expecting anywhere near this.
Lesson and a half.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I don't have a current line that I'm personally building or working on, but there's some that I really want to do. I think it'd be really, really cool to do a koi variant of the Dumbo. I think that would be awesome, because there hasn't really been one of those out yet. that I've known of, but also I really want to start working on an IFGA line of some kind because I don't have one that I've been working on. So I really want to have something that I can show, which would be really nice because Dumbo Guppies are not IFGA affiliated.
Yeah.
So I can't show those. So that one kind of tops me out there on that. So I've got to kind of think about what process I want to go through to what color I want to do. Like that's the other thing. Like some people focus on just red, some people focus on just greens, and it's really dependent on what you want to really specialize in with what do otherwise.
Okay. Yeah, and I have my blonde base in the guppy hybrids that I'm working on. The place where I got them from, they have a more of a black bar type of marking as a whole, but every now and then you get the solid tail fin, you know, with the color expressing throughout the entire tail, which is not an inlet characteristic. And I kind of want to get away from that, and maybe downsize them a little more, but yet keep the same look. And I got an offshoot, those tangerine, you know, they're like the scarlets, but they're orange.
Yeah.
And so I ended up with two to work on at one time. But these tangerines I'm really excited about. No fry yet, but
oh, they'll drop them. Just wait. You'll get a million of them in that tank. It's going to be crazy. It'll go gangbusters. One night you'll look at it and be like, oh my goodness, I have 150 fish in this tank now. Because I had the same thing. I picked up a bunch of the, they called them red endlers at the store, and they were like $8 a pair. And I'm like, I can't pass up $8 a pair red endlers. Like, that's just not going to happen. A couple of them turned out being black bars, which are gorgeous. I still love those as well. But I bought like, I think 4 or 5 pair, and now I have, I think 35 of those. So.
All right, Melvin.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. How did you hook up with the co-op?
I didn't do anything. I know that sounds really strange and weird and kind of outlandish, I guess, in a good way. But I was just making my videos like normal, and then I posted about the Bryant shrimp hatchery is what it was. I posted the video on the Zis Bryant shrimp hatchery because I had bought it on eBay and I had been using it for a few months. And then I decided, oh, now the co-op's carrying it, someone local, someone that I trust and I know will do a really good job with this product. Maybe I should do my review on this finally. So I did my review video and I put that out. And then Corey shared my video, which I was blown away. I remember I was sitting in the living room. I was in my recliner, sitting there, and I'm just on my phone watching stuff. Dogs are barking. And I got the notification that it said Aquarium Co-op has shared your video. And I was like, like, what just happened? This is crazy. And then, like, not within 30 seconds later, I get an email from Corey. And he's saying he's starting this process of becoming brand ambassadors and he would like me on the team. And that blew my mind even more. And it's gone from there. And it's just been a really cool journey. And there's a lot of behind the scenes, which is really cool with the brand ambassadorship, about how he's trying to build community and build up our channels and help us a lot and help us to help other people's channels, and just this really, really cool system he's trying to implement, but he's having us help him do that because he can't do everything. You know, he's got 500,000 subs now. He's got the co-op. He's got all this stuff going on. He doesn't have enough feet on the ground as it is to really kind of have his mission play out the way he wants it to. So that's really what we're kind of stepping in to help him out with is really helping him to see that final goal with the co-op and what he really wants to have happen with that company and the outreach they want to do and the knowledge and everything. So I think it's really interesting that he decided to choose me. I have no idea why. I mean, at that time, I think I had 800 subs when he emailed me. I was just like mind blown. And he's like, normally we wouldn't do it with anybody under like 2,000 or something. And you'd be the one with the least subs, and now I'm right up there with the rest of the gang, which is really cool. So,
And hey, that's beautiful. That's
yeah.
beautiful, man. Real, real.
No, it definitely is. I'm very blessed, very humbled, and the community is by far my favorite. So,
Okay, okay. Israel, I really love tiger endlers, but in my area it's hard. It's hard to find females, so I would have to order them. And me and Peter had a discussion of why I don't order too many fish.
yeah.
But they're actually beautiful, and I hope to add them to my fish room soon, sooner than later. But yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, I actually have some of the yellow tigers from. Who did I get them from? Oh, dang, I'm blanking on names today. It's one of those days. Hold on, I got his name right here. I've got his sticker. Otter Creek Aquatics. That's who it is.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I got him from him. Really, really nice fish. I ended up, something happened. I think the heater or something got too cold. It got unplugged or something. And I lost the two females. Luckily, they had dropped some fry. So I had like 8 males in the tank now and 1 female, which sucks. So I'm waiting for that female to grow up so that she can hopefully give me some babies. But beautiful, beautiful fish. Absolutely love the tiger endlers.
Most definitely. Hey, are you married or single? I know some people want to know that.
I am engaged. So we are planning our wedding at the moment. I do wear a ring because I don't feel like it's fair that only the girl gets the ring. I think it's a very like olden day time frame situation. I think that the 21st century is a little bit more what's the word I'm thinking for forward thinking, and that men and women should be equal, and I think that it's got to go both ways. So I decided I want to get a ring too. So I got a ring, but we are engaged. We got engaged on her birthday, May 10th of 2019, out in Amsterdam. I flew all of our family out to Amsterdam and surprised her on her birthday. I rented a boat, and she had no idea, and everyone met us on the boat, and I proposed to her on a boat in Amsterdam, which was really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and then our wedding's planned for May 2nd out in California, but with everything going on, we just don't know. It could be May 2nd, it could be later, it could not even happen. We just don't know. Since it is going to be in California, it's kind of a little bit harder to plan anything out there with all their regulations they've got going on at the moment.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, I'm on 21 years, November 10th.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, marriage is a wonderful institution. I'm here to tell you, a live-in best friend, you can't do better than that.
Oh yeah, and my lady is the best person I've ever met in my entire life. Like literally the minute I saw her and met her, which it's really weird. We had actually known each other or known around each other for like years. I had known her mom for 4 years. It's bedtime for the fish. Hold on one second. There we go. I didn't want to make anybody's smart
Alexa.
devices.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't want to make them all go off.
I have my garage hooked up to Alexa.
Oh yeah, you've got to. It's like so much easier. It's so nice. You just set everything, especially like when you're doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That go off like that, you can just turn them right back on instead of having to get up and
it goes
flip every switch. Oh,
it goes black and on me in this room though. Bloop, gone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I spray painted like the window that's in the garage here. There's no lights are off. Absolutely none. Which is great. I don't want any natural light in here. I want it all all artificial so I could control it.
Hey, yeah, I get off work because I work 1 a.m. to 11, and before I leave, it's like an hour, a little under an hour for me to drive home. And when I hit the parking lot to get ready to come home, I pull out the phone, turn my lights on from the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, my
These
brother
new
was
fancy
a police
gadgets.
officer. Yeah, my brother's a police officer, or was a police officer. He just retired, actually, from K-9. And
Okay.
so he has a saltwater tank, and he would do the same thing. His shift was like, I think, 6 to 3 or something like that. So when he was on his way home, he'd turn his lights on, and then he'd be awake until 11 in the morning, and then fall back asleep, and then do it all over again. So
Right.
yeah.
I still mentally fight it. I don't want to go to sleep, but I do.
Oh
Mine
yeah.
is like 5 o'clock in the evening, 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, so I can get up. Yeah, it's a better shift for me though.
Yep.
If
Yeah,
there's
no, I can't do any thing unless I get like at least 6 hours of sleep, but usually I get like 4. I'm a weird person. I don't know. I'm always tired, but then I need sleep, but then I don't sleep. Uh,
But that's
just
that's like my wife. I'm a 5 hour period guy. So if I get 4, I'm still pretty good.
yeah,
My wife will be tired, knows she's tired, won't go to sleep.
yeah,
Get up in the middle of the night, be walking around. I'm like, what you doing? You gonna be complaining about being tired? You up?
yeah. That's me. Look, I got these really great sleeping pills like a year ago though, and those things knock me out. I just take one of them and I'm dead to the world in like 5 minutes. My fiance's like, already? This is not right. She gets so mad at me. She's like, I want to go to sleep, and you're just out cold over there snoring, and now I'm awake because you're snoring, and it's the best. I love it.
My wife can drink coffee and go back to sleep if she gonna go to sleep. Me, no, it won't work that way for me. But yeah, she can drink
Yep.
coffee, go right to sleep.
Oh yeah, I can do that too. Coffee at night makes me go to sleep. I don't know why, but it does. I think it's maybe the warmth of it or something.
And some kind of maybe because you're already tired, you get
Yeah.
a warm and then you get a quick crash as opposed to like during the day and you're already,
Oh yeah.
alert. And it just feeds you alertness, whereas at night it's like, well, I'm already tired.
I do like 7 cups of coffee a day. It's not good for me. It is not good.
I'm not
But
gonna be mad at you. I'm close.
yeah, oh yeah, you've got to now. I mean, it's awful. We have to stay, our alarms go off super early, and then we have to stay up super late, and then we do it all over again. So,
Hey, I'm gonna tell you like this: if you don't want prison coffee,
oh, that sounds
state of,
awful.
state of Texas, that's what they call it. Woo-hoo.
Take in your own.
It's you drink it just for the caffeine. That's about
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah,
Make
take
put
that
it, make it
creamer.
into a pill or something.
There's that nasty pour in like instant coffee stuff. Oh,
Stays in the bottom of the cup.
no thanks. I'm good. I'll pass on that one. You can keep that coffee. I'll keep my good ones over here.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It works though.
Oh,
I ain't
any
had nothing
coffee
better.
works. Yeah, any coffee works. Caffeine in general,
Oh,
except for those energy drinks. I cannot do the energy drinks. There's just too much other things in there that get me.
well, I was an energy drink. Well, I still today, but there was a time. Oh man, I'd get off work. This is maybe 10 years ago. It's 9 o'clock at night. I'm getting off work and I pick up 2 or 3 on my way home, and the guy at the store is like, "It's 9 o'clock. Are this
Yeah,
for tomorrow?" No, that's for tonight.
for right now. I gotta go home and feed my fish.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep, but hey, I'm drinking a boat tonight.
Yeah. My brother did the same thing. He would go into 7-Eleven because they gave him all the discounts, and he'd get like 3 or 4 of them, and he'd drink them all, and off on the shift he'd go, and then he'd get 2 more before he went home.
Hey, I have a animal. What is it? No, Pet Supplies Plus.
Oh yeah,
I have a wonderful discount at Pet Supplies Plus.
that's
My card,
awesome.
take my card in. Here you go.
You're
Thank
like,
you.
hey, give me that dollar per gallon sale all time, every day. That'd be
Oh,
so nice.
it's wonderful, man. It is wonderful. All right.
That was the
Hey,
one. That was the one bummer I had about the Garage 2.0 is that they're not going to be doing another dollar per gallon sale this year.
What?
They,
Maybe because they wasn't getting enough regular money.
yeah,
For the
they,
year.
well, and because of everything going on in the world, they had to furlough a lot of people in their factories, and
Okay.
so they just don't have the supplies. Um, so I had to pay full price for 15, 20-gallon highs. Not a fun day for me, especially for the fact that I had to drive 3 hours one way and 2 hours the other direction to pick up all the tanks that I had bought because they weren't all at the same store. So I had to drive like 3 hours down south to pick up like six of them, and then I had to go up north another 2 hours and pick up all the rest of them. It was horrible. Driving all day.
Mm. Sometimes. Ooh. Sometimes. All right. You had glitched on me. I thought you were. All right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. And you get
Already.
sounds like Pet Supplies Plus is a good one. I wish we had those out here.
Yeah, no, they are. They are pretty good. They are pretty good. They are. I would be remiss to say, compared to like the Petco's and stuff in my area, our Pet Supplies Plus are better than Petco here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I first started going though, the area that I live in now, I've been here a little over 2 years. When I first started going, man, it would be ick in the tanks, when I'm standing back there just looking at the tanks.
Yeah.
Somebody finally come by that works there. I'm like, who's assigned to the tanks back here? Oh, it's me. Like, have you looked in them?
Yeah.
And then look, and it's ick, and it's all the way down. It's one, it's one system.
Yeah.
It's two systems, that separates both ends of the tanks. I'm like, man, I said, then look at that pile of dead fish over there. I mean, they're a whole lot better now. But when I first went, oh man.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get a person who doesn't care as much, and then sometimes you'll get someone who loves fish and does a great job.
Yep.
So it just all depends on the employee, really. So I'm lucky. I've got actually a really good PetSmart close to me, but then I have two really awesome local fish stores too. So. Oh.
What's that, Bob?
I think he was talking about the dollar per gallon sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because my local guy, who I've talked to many, many times, because I'm the only one who goes in there and buys like 3, 4, 5 tanks at a time. And they always ask me what I'm doing with them. And I gave them a bunch of stickers. And the manager wears my shirt around in the store, which is really cool. He's like, yeah, we're not doing one this year anymore. Like, that's what they were telling me. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great because I need a bunch more tanks. So then I was like, hey, what's the deal if I were to order like 20 of these tanks? Can I get a price discount? And he's like, no, there isn't any of that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, dang. So full price it is. What's up, Red Ear Slider?
Spread that guppy love.
Yeah.
Hey man, my little commercial that I made, dude. I wanted to put that in there. I posted it and everything. And I'm watching it. I knew I forgot something. Oh, I knew I forgot something.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's like, it's so nice that works so well with what I like, my name, with everything, because like everyone knows Guppy Love. Like, it's just always been a thing.
Yeah.
So why not spread it?
And I mean, and it's the way you say it. I mean, all things come together perfectly. At that one time, like my channel name. I mean, man, I was Big P's Guppy House, Big P's Endlers, Big P as in Big Preacher. That was a nickname
Yeah.
of mine. I tried all kinds of stuff. Well, I can't even tell you how those other names I called myself thinking out. Big Tank Hank just came, and I would show up in people's live stream chats, and they, Big Tank Hank, Big Tank. And, and they're like, man, I really loved it. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
that one,
You
I
got to go to it.
something
Memorable. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it just hit. Like,
Yeah.
roll with it. If it works,
No,
roll
for sure.
with
Yeah,
it.
it's you see it. Yep.
Spread
Yeah,
that
and you see it in the
dirt.
chats, and you know it's you, and you always come in with that flex. Got to flex on everyone in
Yeah, yeah, you know.
streams. I love it.
Yeah, I
It's my
got to
favorite.
got to move everybody out. I'm here. Make room.
Yeah. Watch out. Watch out.
Man, hey,
That's so cool.
if let me see. In your house, do you have any like just your community tank that's sit down and look at tank, and if so, what's in it? What's the whole uh feng shui you got going?
Yes, we have four tanks in our main like house. So we've got the betta sorority in my fiance's office room. So she's got a 30-gallon bow front in there with like 7 of the bettas that I raised, the females, the Galaxy Koi, Nemo placots, and there's some like Pandagaras and a couple other little fish in there. I think there's like a longfin bristle nose in there as well. She really likes that tank. I think I'm going to probably end up breaking it down for her though, because she's changing the idea of what she wants her office to be. So I got to take the tank out of there, which is fine. So I got to find some room for 7 betta females now. And then we've got our 45 tall in the dining room, which has the blue diamond discus from Well Done Tanks, which are gorgeous. There's also a ton of Variatus platies in there, which is really cool. And they just keep dropping babies. And so there's babies everywhere, which is strange because you would think that the discus would just munch on all the babies, but
Right.
they haven't. And then in our bedroom, we have a Jack, stop. And then in our bedroom, we've got our Bisher, our platinum Bisher in there. So I watch him probably the most out of any of the tanks just because he's in our bedroom. And I usually feed him at night, so I watch him eat right before we're going to bed and everything, and I can turn the lights off just by telling the smart lady to do it for me. So I get to watch him a lot. He's really hilarious. If I tap on the tank 5 times, he won't come up. If I tap on it 3 times, he'll come out for his food. It's the strangest thing, but it's always 3. So
No, that extra 2 is pushy.
yeah, he's like, hey, this is too much. You tap too many times. I don't like it. Now I'm annoyed. And he's like, I'm just staying behind my rocks. Leave me alone. So, but that's the Bob Ross tank is in our bedroom. So that's probably one of the nicer tanks, scape wise, that I've got.
So discus, are those discus as hard as people would have us think?
So these are tap water discus. So these were bred by a local guy in our extremely, extremely, extremely hard 7.8 pH water.
Sound like Texas.
Yeah, so I haven't done anything except my normal water routines, and they're doing great. Trent had them for 5-6 months. He had them when they were, I think, quarter sized, 50-cent piece size. Now they're getting pretty big. So I've got 5 of them. I lost one in that power outage situation because the tank dropped down to, I think, 74 degrees before I could get everything kind of figured out power wise. Because I needed to get this room fixed first before I could get anything else figured out. So that was a day in and of itself. That was awful.
Yes, I can imagine. Me thinking about
Yeah.
it now with you mentioning it, man.
Yeah, not fun. Yeah, but we did get a trampoline that day, which was pretty cool. So our neighbor's
Surprise
trampoline,
visit.
yeah, jumped right over our fence, our 10-foot tall cinder block fence. We had a trampoline sitting in it right in between the pond and the wall. It was pretty perfect.
That's cool. Hey, what have you seen change in the not in the fish family per se, but in the whole genre in the last couple of years that sticks out to you, positive or negative?
from what I can tell, the people are really interested in knowledge now over entertainment. I feel like if you have a really good knowledge base with your videos that has a little bit of entertainment, something that's really enjoyable to watch, something that's got a good cadence, good video, good audio, people are going to really enjoy that. But if it's got good knowledge, they're willing to sit there and watch it. I think that the whole fish entertainment channels have kind of changed tactics because they were kind of losing some of that traction they had when they first started. And they're going more towards total pets instead of just fish, because the fish community kind of bounced back and kind of said, no, you're not doing it right. You know, your aquarium co-ops and the JHs and awesome channels that are really focused on fish care and the knowledge of fish and the education of fish has really like changed that, which I think has been really cool. So people are really interested in knowledge over entertainment, I think now, in at least the last year. Yeah, except for him. Yeah. I watched that video where he bought all those betta fish and put them in his pond, and I was just like, what are you doing? And I will admit that I still watch Paul Cafaro. I watch Fanatic. I actually really like Fanatic. I know his manager, Chris, personally.
Okay.
Really awesome guy. He lives down in Texas as well. And Chris is a very knowledgeable fish keeper. I've actually sent him fish personally, and he's kept them and is still keeping them, and very, very knowledgeable person on the fish side of things. So I do like that. I just think that there's a whole nother world in that, you know, those type of channels. I mean, they are 17, 18, 19 years old and trying to build this. They're building empires is really what they're doing. I mean, Paul Cafaro's got 1.4 million subs. I think Brenton over at Fanatics up to like 400,000 now. So they're for their age, they're killing it. They're doing incredible. And I think that's something they had to like kind of grow with their community. So I think it's hard for them to do the knowledge without the entertainment because they'll lose a lot of those.
Yeah, because they still directed towards those people that are around there.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're going towards the younger age group that really wants the high energy, high impact entertainment. Where, hey Candy, good to see you. Where our community is really focused on the knowledge of fish, and I think that's why it's kind of changed a lot in the last year and a half.
Hey y'all, let's go over there and check out Fisherman64.
Yeah.
Let's check the channel out over there.
I think he was just messaging me today, actually. So.
Hey, Fisherman, that's 75 subs. Hey, that's a good thing. I'm here to tell you, I can remember 50 subs and going on Rob 93's live stream and him and Aquafunk urging people to check out my channel.
Well, you should be getting a few more today because I shared out this video, so hopefully a bunch of people will be jumping over onto the Big Tank Hank train.
Choo choo. Yeah, man, I remember Renton as just like a little young fan.
Yep.
It was some type of competition that he won. Little young fella with his little pond, like he dug with a little spade or something in his front yard.
Yep.
And Paul brought him out. I can remember that.
Yeah, no, Brenton, I honestly think that kid is extremely passionate about fish. I think that he's just had to grow with his channel. You know, and that's something that I think he's actually done a very good job of. He hasn't overwhelmed his fish care in order to get more views, where there are some of those channels that they, you know, get a platinum redtail and then they realize, oh my gosh, I can't keep this, and they have to get rid of them. Where I think Brenton does a really good job. He's got the fish that he knows he can keep, and then if there's fish that he doesn't he can't keep anymore. He rehomes them and does a really good job with that. So there are a few people that I think really do a good job of both. So
Yeah, and that's real important to me. I mean, I don't judge. Well, I don't want to tell a lie. Um, I don't I don't judge on camera some of the people, videos that I see, but like we spoke of earlier, be the fish keeper that you are,
mm-hmm.
as long as the fish are first, in regards as far as what you're doing. I mean,
Yep.
you can't forsake
Yeah,
the
if you're
fish
focused
for
on the clicks and the views,
yeah. Don't forsake the fish
yeah,
for
it's
subs.
not worth it.
Don't do that. Don't forsake the fish for subs. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't put
No.
themselves in these little boxes.
Yeah,
And if
I would
given
love
the
to have an
choice, ain't nothing
arowana
in there.
and a platypus, and oh yeah, I'm sure. But it's one of those things. I'd rather keep what I know I can keep carefully, that I can raise, I can breed,
Thank
and
you,
that I can
sir.
pass on to someone else. That's Secret History Living in Your Aquarium. I love his channel. He's got some really cool info.
Very much, and I've been
Have
looking
you,
at his videos for a long time. I
yeah,
really have.
no, his is
Now his tanks, I can honestly say, kind of the way his tanks are, is literally kind of how mine are. It's just like
yep.
almost oh man, how can I even describe it? You let it do itself because
I just call
it's
them
not gonna over.
naturescapes. Yeah, I just call them
Yeah, it's
naturescapes
not gonna
because
overdo itself.
yeah, as Bob Ross would say, just let the rock fall where it would fall.
Because then that would still be considered natural.
Yep. So yeah, it's like I honestly, it's hard for me to watch aquascaping videos. I have a hard time watching those because I have a hard time seeing that in nature. That when there's
Yeah.
the videos of the people that are doing like an aquascape based on nature, I think those are fascinating and beautiful and like perfect. But there's those other scapes that are just like, it just looks so artificial. And I just have a hard time watching that kind of stuff, let alone make that. So
Hey, you
it's
can't
true.
beat nerdiness and kindness, man. You can't beat that.
It's true. Yeah, we're all just nerms living in a nerm world.
Shout out to All In Tanks, Oscar and Tiffany. That's my people. Hey, I love those two. I love them. I'm just gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna shout that out there. Hey, what would you say is the most important thing you derive from being in the fish community?
Most important thing I think for me is just the connections I have with actual people. Like it's really interesting when you look at a lot of other communities. There's a lot of virtual connection. There's connection with just their stage name or just their emojis or just their avatar or something like that. But I feel like with this community, there's very much a personal connection. Like with you sending me a birthday message, like that kind of stuff. Like I have never seen another community on YouTube that has that kind of love and passion for other people, let alone the passion and love that we all have for something that we share. We all have a passion for fish. It doesn't matter if that fish is small or large, or if it's aggressive or very peaceful. So I think it's really just the connection we have personally with each and every person that we come across. I mean, there's a community. I think this community definitely builds it better every single day.
Yeah, and I can honestly say it's probably the ability for us to all focus on the same thing, which is not ourselves,
Hmm.
kind of opens us up to friendships and, growing relationships with people not genetic, but, generically, and we not know that it's even happening
Right.
because we focus so much on ourselves and everything else that we, well, I need to make sure that mine is like this or like that. Whereas the fish kind of distract you,
Hmm.
smoke and mirrors, and next thing you
Yeah.
know, you have some friends. You're like, oh my God, where did y'all come from?
Yep.
I don't like people, you know.
Oh yeah, we all like fish more than we like people. Let's just be honest here. I mean, it just look at how much time we spend in our little fish rooms, you know. But no,
Yes.
I think that the people in this community stand out. That's for sure. It's a standout community.
Yep. Yep. A lot of
So
real cool people. A lot of real cool people.
it is for sure.
You know. I remember Parker Farrell used to put koi fish with platies and angels and catch them all, fishing with all those bedded together in the pond.
Yeah.
It made me furious. Hey, and the thing about it is, I'm a. This is not what I normally do directly, but I'm just gonna speak on that little situation. It was almost like he was sneaking it up on us while we were watching him do it.
Yeah.
Like nobody was gonna be, hey, dude, you can't. You know what? You might be opening the door for what's happening.
But
First of
he
all,
said it in the video. That was the best part. He said it's going to be Game of Thrones in there. He was so right. Like he knew what was going to happen. He knew.
oh,
He
shut up.
just yeah. I feel like Paul Cafaro, I think he definitely had a change of heart as well. I think he was shooting for those subs real fast, real quick, trying to get big real fast, and I think he took advantage of his situation and was going for the clickbait stuff for a while there. I think he's
Yep.
kind of turned a little bit of that stone over and has gone more towards caring for the animals he already has. So I think these people are realizing that they're going to start getting flack for doing the wrong thing for their animals. And I hope that continues because it's really, we're keeping these animals out of kind of our own selfishness, and therefore we need to keep them safe and healthy. And if we can't do that, we shouldn't have them.
Yep.
So it's kind of one of those, if you can't do it, don't do it situations.
That's like me, have the neighborhood app for my area and have all the people every 15, 20 minutes, somebody's dog got out.
Yep.
Hey, have you seen mine? Then you have other people getting on them. Well, why do you have that dog every time? People, dogs are getting out. You can't protect these dogs better, but it's real. That's real. Everybody's dogs getting out,
Yeah, every once in a while your dog's going to get outside and do what it's going to do. So
It's crazy. And they be all over them. I'm like, well, you have to think about it. There's a lot of people in this neighborhood, it seems like it's a whole lot, but that's because it's spread out between a whole lot of people. But we have to be very responsible, because they don't ask for anything. They're being kept against their will.
yep.
They're
Well,
song and dancing for us.
I feel like a lot of the fish that like this community keeps probably has a better life with us than they did when they were first born.
That's real.
So I think it's almost like kind of that step up when they come to our rooms and our tanks is because like they're born in a vat, in a fish farm somewhere, and they're not taken great care of if depending on where they're from. And then they're shipped to our homes and they're put in these beautiful planted tanks or tanks with plants and good water care and great foods, and that just seems like the life to me. I mean, I would love to be brought up in the slums and then just brought into like Beverly Hills and put in a giant mansion practically.
No, when I started out with my feeder fish, yeah, it was definitely an upgrade for them. When I say Um, quarantine trio. No, my trio had to be like maybe 6 different things
Oh yeah.
over. Oh man, it was crazy.
Yeah, I've got a whole rolling cart right next to my knee that's just medicines. I have a problem that I need need to fix, and that is number one. The biggest problem is Aquarium Co-op carrying so many great products, but the second one is that every time I'm like, oh yeah, that's I need that maybe at some point in the time that I am gonna keep fish. Like I don't know I don't know when I got some of this stuff. I have no idea.
Yeah, I went from I had quite a bit of medication. I actually broke all the way down to aquarium salt,
Yep.
and just patience. Just paying attention. For the fish with a thick substrate, and it tend to have worked actually a whole lot better than when I was pouring stuff in there.
Yeah, I feel like if we overdo it, it harms more.
Yep.
It definitely does. Like I mean, if you look at nature, most fish when they have an illness of some kind, they're going to go into a brackish state to kind of heal themselves, and then they'll go back into fresh. So, I mean, salt's really their way of healing themselves. But then again, fish are just going to get sick and pass away in nature too. So sometimes they just are going to get sick and pass away, and that's just part of the cycle of life. And sometimes I will watch a fish in here and I will treat a tank, but I will treat it just based on what I would normally do, and I'm not going to go overboard with it because if that fish isn't going to survive, it's nature's way of saying that fish isn't going to survive, and then let that cycle take place. I'm not in the mindset of taking out a fish from a situation that's been in for a long time and then like stressing it out more by putting it in something else and then treating it. I just have a hard time doing that. Just like when, guppies are giving birth, I don't like putting them into little breeder boxes. I think that stresses them out just as much.
Yep.
So there's a lot of like little things like that people are like, oh no, you have to do this. And I'm like, is it really the best for your situation though? And I think that's another really big part about this community is that people are like, well, yeah, the book says that, but does it work for you? And that's something that we all have learned from each other and from ourselves. And we're like, oh no, that didn't work for me. So next time I'm going to try not doing that and see what happens. And
Right.
sometimes works best that way.
And one thing, hey, fish fam, let me remind y'all of something. Look at how long your actual fish live. Well, sometimes we get them and they're about to die.
Yep.
You put them in a tank and they look real good. I mean, vibrant. Then you wake up and we'll blame it on a whole lot of different things. Well, maybe it was just time.
Yeah, and I always get the question of, like, oh, my guppy died 6 months after I got it. And I'm like, well, it's probably because whoever was breeding your fish or was keeping your fish before you was speed breeding them and heating them up really, really hot, feeding them a lot of foods and making as many babies as possible and making them grow super fast so they're not the strongest fish. So they will half-life themselves practically at that point. So you may have a fish that should live 2 years, only live 6 months to 8 months. And that's the usual case with most guppies that we're getting now from the big box stores and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's crazy. I used to read all the time, especially in regards to trying to determine the sex of the fry and them growing faster. And see, I heat and cool my whole house, so I've never been a user of heaters. And my house never really gets over 76 but we don't let it drop below 72. And my fish just get used to the temperature in him. In here, the fluctuations don't swing really at all. So they just get used to what's going on here. But you have them longer, and they seem to be healthier. Here as opposed to beforehand. I'm putting the heat in, and I killed a whole tank of fish one time, and I think it was parameters coupled with the heat as well. But that was early on in my learning phase.
Yep.
And I'm like, they told me it was supposed to be, this temperature. They should be okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it just isn't the case. It just really isn't. And that's another reason why we started our fish collective as well, is because hobbyist bred fish are going to be mostly, not all the time, but mostly bred better than your farm raised fish. Therefore, you can also email them or message them and say, hey, what was the temperature you were keeping these at? What was the pH? What were the parameters? All that kind of stuff. And that's another really cool thing about getting other fish from other hobbyists is there's a lot more knowledge that you get with that fish than just picking up a fish at a fish store.
Yep. And that's a good thing to be able to, you can reach in and get a wealth of knowledge that you wouldn't have normally with a personal touch. If you have that second question.
Yep.
And then you can get certain subtle nuances work for me as opposed to just cookie cutter. So, what's next? Okay, do you want to speak on the big shipment of fish, or you gonna hold on?
Yeah, no, I can talk about that a little bit. It's some of those things that, I'm not one of those channels that's hiding everything. I try to tell you as much as I possibly can. Sometimes I forget to say things, and I'm sorry if you hear the dog whining. It's not my dog. It's my in-laws' dog, and it is here for the weekend, and it does not like it. So if you hear the dog, I'm very sorry. But yeah, I brought in a huge shipment from Thailand. I have always, since the beginning of keeping fish, I've always wanted to bring in fish from another country, to really just see how that process goes. Get it from a really well-known breeder, someone who does a lot of it, and bring them in and treat them, do what I normally do with all my fish, and then offer them at a better price than pretty much anybody else can sell them for in the US. And that's what this shipment was pretty much for. A lot of fish pretty much that I wanted, which is another problem, is that I want every fish. But then some fish that I already have that I'm like, okay, this fish, the purple Dumbo mosaic was the biggest one that I brought in. I bought that fish. I sold a bunch of those fish, and then I've been raising those fish for the last 4 or 5 months to try to get that colony back, because I oversold the colony and kind of wiped it out. So I was like, okay, I need to get more of these fish. So I ordered, I think it was 30 or 40 trios of the purple Dumbos. So a lot of the purple Dumbo mosaics. And they all came in absolutely gorgeous. The females are just as beautiful, if not more beautiful than the males, in my opinion. So really, really cool. And then we brought in some other fish I have never seen before, ever, which is really, really fun. One of the types I brought in is called the Silverado Red, which is a completely silver-bodied guppy, but with a red tail and a red dorsal fin. I had never seen it before, and I was like, I need to get this fish.
Silverado Red?
Silverado Red. And it's something I've looked at. I've looked on my poster of guppies that I have, and I've never seen it. Through all my looking and everything, I haven't seen it before, so I had to bring it in. And that's kind of another cool thing that I wanted to do, was bring in some fish I hadn't seen so that maybe we could get them into more people's rooms. Because Thailand, Japan, all those other countries in Asia are usually ahead of the curve on genetic structure of guppy. They're going ahead. They're starting new strains, new colors, new variants. The koi guppies is a good example of that. That's a Thailand strain that has been coming in, and really, really beautiful fish. It looks like the secret history living inside of our aquarium says Silverado Red are a great one, mostly antler genes. Yeah, these are absolutely beautiful. They are, I'm looking at them right now. I would say they're full Delta. I could probably win a show with some of these fish. They're drop dead gorgeous. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
JT, I guess I can say I breed fish. I mean, I have a few that I have just because I like them, but I eventually want them to breed. And I'm not overrunning myself with fish. I'm trying to stay within a sane level in regards to having my fish. But I guess I call myself a breeder more than a collector.
Yeah, there is a big difference. That's a really good question. There's a big difference between those two.
Yeah, there was a time, and I see a lot of fish that I really like, but I just, I put my hands behind my back and I just, at the LFS and just look in the tank. Hey, that's nice.
Yep.
That's really nice. That's even better. Then I just leave.
Yeah, that's my problem though. That's where I'm like, oh cool, I have an empty 10. I can put that in there. And then it goes in, and then I have a tank. Yeah, the same breeder that I'm getting my guppies from, I'm getting another box on the 29th shipped out, is sending a Thailand native betta fish, which I'm really, really excited about. So I'm going to be able to try out his bettas as well, because he's got like the betta splendens, and then he's also got like the spade tails, which is really going to be beautiful. So I'm really excited to see those and try them out, so that I could potentially be bringing in these really gorgeous Thai bettas.
Yeah, I'd like to get into the wild type, closer to, the natural beginnings of the betta myself. So I'm gonna have to check those out when you get them in.
Yeah, I'll send you some pictures once I get them in. But I'm really excited about just all the potential that there is. But yeah, he's right. The Czechs definitely really do a good job for sure. I have the Czech guppies, which is also the Vienna guppy, kind of the same. It's almost the same strain as the ones that Corey has that he got from Vienna at the guppy show there. But I've got the Czech ones, and I got them at my local fish store. Absolutely beautiful round tail guppy, and I'm really into the round tail spade tail guppy right now. Even though I love the larger fin Dumbo, I think it's really hard to find a round tail or a spade tail in our local stores and our local fish collectives and whatever. It's hard to find them at a good price, at least. Let's just say that.
What's up, Big Renzo? All right. Hey, Thomas, do you mean is the name Hawaiian Guppy Guy, or do you mean HC?
I think he's thinking HC, but I've gotten guppies from HC, yes. And HC sells on our site. He's got his bettas on there, his betta chinoides. He's got his beautiful angelfish. They're albino Dantum somethings. It's like a new strain that he's brought in and made. They're absolutely gorgeous. I really want them. So that's what I'm saying. I really want everything, and it's a problem. But I'm having to restrain myself, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job, except for when like Trent texts me and he's like, "Hey, do you want my German blue rams?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I'm like, "Ooh, where am I gonna put the German blue rams?" Luckily, I had a free 10-gallon tank with a heater in it, so I was able to make that work.
Okay. Hey, message me Trent's particulars. I want to get him on here.
Yeah, for sure. I will, for sure. Yeah, Trent's an awesome guy. He's another, actually a corrections officer as well. So.
Holterman, a camera, and some fish.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, you don't need anything fancy. You really don't. You really don't. I would say there's two different types though of video. There is the face-to-face vlog style, and then there's the talking head style of video. So a really good example of the two difference. I do kind of the vlog style, and then a really good example of the talking head would be like the big channel that's coming up right now is Fish Boy. Have you seen his stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's talking head where he's behind camera, never shows his face, and just talks. There's two different types. If you don't want to show your face on camera, go that route. If you do want to show your face, go that route. It's just up to you, really. But yeah, phone camera works just as good. I filmed on my iPhone 11 for quite a long time before I got into kind of the more advanced camera systems. So I'm running now 2 different cameras, which I'm really excited about. I just got another one today, so I can do macro. Yeah, I can do macro shots now, which I'm really excited about.
That, I've been thinking about that. That's something that I really need to do because I'm torn.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in between, talking head as opposed to it's just whatever I'm trying to show at that given time. But for what I actually do, macro would be real good.
Yep.
Because I like to bring him in close, show detail of the fish. I'm not the big show the skate guy. I'm
Right.
about the actual little fish. And I think I might need to think about it.
What do you film on though?
My iPhone 11.
Do you have the single camera or the
Double.
the double? I think they have a macro attachment for the double camera that you can just it's like a clip on.
Okay.
So I would just look at that. I think they're like $25 on Amazon. They're not
that would be even better.
Yeah, I don't think they're too expensive. So that's another great round to go to for someone is always look for like the cheapest alternative to something. You don't have to go with the most expensive, best on the market. There's a really cool video out there. I'm not sure who filmed it, but it was a professional using a $400 camera and a novice using a red camera, which is like $40,000. And they did the same footage practically. They did the same exact like timelines and actors and everything. And then they just edited their footage together. And the guy who had more knowledge and used the cheaper camera, his footage came out better than the guy who used the $30,000 camera and didn't know as much. So another thing is like watch Peter McKinnon. Watch Jimmy, of course, from Aquarium Co-op. He's got some incredible videos on how to film fish. Like, if you want some knowledge, that is the place to go to really look at it. Is Swisky, I think is how you say his name. I'm sure if Candy's still in the chat, she'll throw it up there.
Neutron first, and then
yeah.
Was he Gimbal at one point too?
Yeah, I think it was Gimbal. Yeah, Jimmy Gimbal. Yeah. Erica Booth's here. Good to see you, Erica. Erica is awesome. I love Erica. She's got some incredible guppies.
Okay. Does she have a channel?
I don't think she has a channel. I know she has an Instagram page, which is really cool because she's like breeds goats and stuff too. So if you want to like watch some goats be goats, definitely a place to go. But she, I think, is going to start selling on Our Fish Collective as well. So we'll get some of her beautiful stuff. She's got like some really cool dragon strain guppies, which are beautiful. There's just so many different types of guppies, and that's the coolest part. Like you can get any color you want, any variant, any size. I've got some females that are like the size of swordtails. They're just massive. Then I've got like the mini tigers that I just got from Thailand that are super small. Yuppie guppies.
I've been watching mini tigers for a while, and I was gonna pull the trigger at one point. This guy, they were in Puerto Rico, and he couldn't send them to me.
Oh, well, just wait. I'll send you some of mine, because I got in. I think I got in 15 or 20 trios, and they are really beautiful. I saw so I posted on my community page a picture of the the mini tigers that I was getting, and that's what I brought in. Let me see here if I can find it, because they're a drop dead gorgeous fish. Yeah, this is. Let's see if you can.
Let me see if I could bring it up closer. Uh-oh, wrong one.
Don't need to see my big face. There you go.
There we go.
Absolutely just a super cool fish.
Man, most definitely.
So that's the mini
Most
tigers, and there's some just incredible guppies that every day I'm like, man, that's beautiful. I want that fish. And then I'm like, dang it, I don't have enough money. So, but I like those kind of fish. It's really cool that I'm able to get some of these from Thailand, because some of these fish you just can't find in the U.S., like the mini tigers. Like you were saying, there was a guy in Puerto Rico. That's not easy.
Yeah.
So like these kind of fish, I'm really excited to be able just to put them on our fish collective and say, here you go. Here's a fish that I spent X dollars for, and you're spending X dollars for, and they're treated, they're ready to go. I already have a bunch of fry in that tank, which is really awesome. So another goal I'm going to do is take all the fry out and put them into 10 gallons separate, so I can actually raise those fish in the fish room as well. I do want to keep the guppies, though, to make long enough to make sure that the fry are breeding pure, even though I know this breeder's really, really good, really well known. He actually sells to a couple other U.S. retailers that sell these fish, and they sell them for a lot of money, a lot more than I'm going to. I'm just going to say that. So just throwing that part out there, but super excited to have these for sure. Ooh, that would be cool. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen it anywhere in the spade tails either, but yeah, that would be.
That would be really cool. That might have to be like an Endler mini tiger mix. That would actually be a really cool Guppy Guru exclusive line. I might have to look into doing that. Maybe mixing my black bar Endlers or something in with them and seeing what pops out. Maybe I get like a red and black striped mini tiger spade tail or something cool. That'd be so awesome. The Bengal tiger guppy.
Hey, the thing about using Endler genetics, though, when I tell you, will take you down a rabbit hole.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
Oh man.
You never know. You might get blue on the next round. Ooh. Interesting. Yeah, I love like how cool just like people though. I always say this, fish are just like people. You're gonna get really big people. You're gonna get really big fish. You're gonna get all sorts of different styles. Just like us, they're gonna have different diets. They're gonna have different flavors that they like. Give them a variety of everything. See what they like. See what they don't like. But fish are just like people.
Right.
Treat them just like them. So.
I'm gonna tell you, was it Backyard Aquarius? Backyard. He's friends with H.C. Aqua. He's in Hawaii also.
Uh-huh.
And he had the Sunset Micros. He had some huge.
Oh yeah. Those were massive. Those were like spade tail, or not spade tail.
The round.
Yeah. Absolutely cool. I love it.
Huge, but I didn't understand it.
It's really interesting, like some of the really awesome people that like you just kind of know of, and they just kind of fade into your brain, and then you bring them back up and you're like, oh yeah, my gosh, I forgot about that. I love that. That would be cool. I would be down for that. I'm sure you would too, as well.
Hey, look, definitely.
I'm always up for fish. That's my problem. It's my problem. You guys are feeding my addiction. You are all enabling me. Just quit it. Stop it. quit subscribing. Hit the unsubscribe button now on my channel because you're enabling me.
See, mine is like, I made it seem like, I'm in such control. I don't buy a lot of individual type fish, but I'm trying to put these totes. I got a 55-gallon tote in the garage, and I just put a 30-gallon tote.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be a lot of fish.
We're addicted. It's just an honest to goodness. The only way we can say it is we are addicted to fish, and I'm okay with that. It's better than drugs.
Yes.
Better than alcohol. It's just much better. Something that's constructive, something that can potentially save the environment, and something that gets us closer to other people. So why not?
Right.
Erica, he asked me when I purchased from him not to say his farm name. So I am following his guidelines.
Yeah, you gotta keep the plug,
Yeah. Well, it's kind of one of those things. I think he's very selective with who he sells to, because he wants to keep
quality.
Yeah, quality over quantity, I think, is kind of the way he's doing it.
Not overrun the market. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like the strains that he does have, are the ones I want. That's the best way to put it. And so therefore I bought from him. But I was very lucky to be able to reach out to him and have him be so responsive to me. So
another one of those cool things about being in the fish fam.
Yeah. Another one of those cool, expensive things to be part of the fish fam. It's really interesting when your credit card company calls you and is like, hey, did you just really send that much money to Thailand? I'm like, yes, I did. And they're like,
hey.
Okay, great. It's better than someone else doing it with my credit card, but,
Right. I don't think I'm ever have to worry about that when, working for the state.
Yeah. Well, I work with the state sometimes, and I still don't have all that money. I save enough to do this the best way possible. We'll put it that way. I'm very, very frugal in probably every other aspect of my life except for this hobby.
Yeah, right. Sometimes my wife, I'll have something, I'll hoard equipment, like this aquarium stuff. People give me stuff. I just have all this in the garage, and I'm putting it on offer up. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And my wife said, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, "I'm buying fish."
Yep.
Well, fish. I'm like, that means I'm not taking money out of the house.
Yeah, it's just transferring. You're just trading from $1 to $2, and then that $2 back to one fish.
Yes,
it all works out in the long run.
If I can keep it in that natural fish loop, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. Caught like 14 males. Flew right up by the males. Put them all in my mud tank. All those males in small tails, clear yellow dots, but keep
Yeah, Guppy Boy's got a really cool channel too. I can't remember how old he is. I think he's 12 or 13. He's very into doing it correctly, which is really cool. So
I think I watched him a little bit before this stream. His last video is the tanks in his bedroom, but it's still like 10 different tanks. He's got all these different scapes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I watched him right before this stream. And I can tell by the voice. I'm looking at the tanks, but hearing this voice, and I'm like, he sounds young, Yeah, it was pretty cool.
He said he's 14, so yeah, I was close. I always forget it. I always forget the age.
I checked you out, man. I checked you out right before this stream, actually.
But no, he's definitely doing it right.
Anthony T's Tanks. How do? Welcome.
Yeah.
Big J, I can see how that would be a problem.
That's why I started an online store, because if I was holding all the fish, I would never sell a fish. That would be my problem. Secret history. I was wondering if you have suggested a fish keeping or aquascaping program in corrections. I helped set up a tank at Monroe Prison, and their program dropped violence to 0. That's pretty cool.
You know,
Yeah.
I never thought about it.
I
But-
know, like, my grandma is in a nursing home, like a memory care facility, and they've got a yellow lab tank in there. So they've got a bunch of cichlids in that tank. But they have a company that comes through and maintains that for them. I've asked them if I could do it, and they said no. I was like, well, I would be over here more, and it'd be free, but that's fine. But yeah, no, I feel like fish tanks in almost any situation are going to make people calmer.
And I'm gonna look into that. Because, like I always say, the me that you guys get on this screen is really me in real life. I have the same reputation. People look at me the same way at the institution that I work in. And the offenders, I have a better rapport per se. They have a certain respect. They don't want to let me down. You know, if they do something and get caught, and you know, I talk to them about it. You know, I'm not like other people as far as I'm not there to punish anybody, but I'm always about uplifting. You know, let you know that you know your best day can be your next day. And if it's something that I'm doing that I'm interested in, and I brought it in there, I'm pretty sure everybody there would be trying to do it. Actually.
Yep. Yeah, no, I feel like that could be really cool. I don't have any
That's a very
pull.
good idea.
Yeah, I don't have any pull in any of our corrections. I know Trent does because he works at a prison, so he might be able to do that. I think he said that he had talked to someone about it before, and they said no, just because of the monetary side of it. But yeah, I mean, just depending on the situation, I'm sure it would be really awesome.
No, because like where I work, it's like a farm facility where they have all these different seasonal crops. They actually raise animals. So monetarily, I don't think it would even be an issue. But that's
Yeah.
a good idea, though, man. Hey,
Well, like
thank you for that idea, man.
Yeah, like he just said, you could set up tilapia and aquaculture for food in the prison. So that would be pretty cool. They could do a tilapia, like aquaponics system.
And I work in food service. I'm a shift manager in food service.
There you go. Grow your own tilapia on site. I have a really hard time with tilapia. I won't eat it. I am a fish snob when it comes to eating fish.
Well, you know, most of those stories about tilapia are like fables, though. They said tilapia didn't have bones and tilapia don't have skin. Oh, they went there with tilapia.
Tilapia also aren't natural. Like,
I mean, they were.
They are not from nature. They are 100% man-made fish. And if you watch some of the videos of where like the main tilapia sources are, going to like the Walmarts and that kind of stuff, I would never eat that.
Yeah, where they come from.
Yeah, I would never eat that fish.
I'm gonna tell you another one that they're trying to slide in under the radar, and it's very upsetting to me. I'm a fish lover, love seafood. They have a, I'm gonna say the name that you see in the grocery store first, Sway. Now, what Sway is, pause a little bit. Sway is actually the shark, iridescent shark,
Really?
and they're selling it as catfish, which is catfish, but when you for those people that know about a good fried catfish fillet,
Yeah.
when you get a iridescent shark fillet, you know
It's not the same.
it is not catfish.
Yeah. Yeah, we go up to Alaska almost every year and fish for sockeye salmon and king salmon. So I'm a salmon snob.
Okay.
And like halibut and all that kind of stuff. So like even cod, I have a hard time eating cod because cod is a bait fish. Like, let's just be honest, it's a bait fish. So like, it's really like every time I see like salmon in a grocery store that's just bright red, I'm like, that is not natural. Like, you just dyed that fish a bright red color so you could sell it. Salmon comes out very light pink and very beautiful. It's not bright red. So if you see a bright red salmon that's like this color, don't buy it because they have dyed it multiple times.
That's all bright red. No, dark
Yeah.
purple beef. See,
Yeah.
I was an apprentice butcher at one point. You
Oh,
know.
I'm sure that was interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
Yeah.
The good part for them though, you know, I was like the low man on totem pole, so I stayed back and I was the cleanup guy. It was sanitized there though, you know. You never know about that.
Yeah, I've seen some really cool videos on kind of what some grocery stores will do with steaks and beef and how they like grind in the new blood so that it looks like it's red again. And
some people used to use Clorox.
Yeah, I don't actually eat beef or pork anymore. It's been, I think, close to 4 years now since I've eaten beef or pork. I just eat fish and chicken and turkey. So pescatarian, I guess, is what some people would call that. But for a while there, I was full vegetarian. I didn't eat any meat. Just cheese was really the only animal product that I ate. But yeah.
Okay.
And my family owns like cattle farms and stuff, so I'm used to beef. So it's one of those things that since they're in Washington State and I'm in Utah and I'm not close enough, it's hard for me to get really good meat. So I used to get really sick every time I ate red meat, and that I attributed that to the red meat. And once I quit eating it, I stopped getting as sick. So I quit eating it, and I feel much better.
Okay, that's kind of like my wife with dyes, yellow dye and red dye, like.
Really?
Yeah, and dye. You know, they put dye in almost everything.
Yep, they do. Literally everything. You wouldn't even think that there's dye in some things.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Hey, I'd be in heaven if my family owned beef.
Yeah, we've my family's owned a piece of property in Washington State for over 150 years. It's right on the Lewis River. Absolutely gorgeous. They homesteaded it, and it was a dairy farm in its original form, and then now it's just got I think 15 head of cattle on it, and then some chickens and that kind of stuff as well. And then mostly alfalfa is really what my uncle is doing now.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people. Texas, you know, stereotypically beef. Everywhere you go, you see cows, you think. But people are getting away. They're getting away from raising beef cattle. You don't see, I mean, and where I live, if you go one direction, city is maybe 1 or 2 minutes away.
Right.
But if you go the other direction, it's farmland.
Yep. Yeah, same thing here in Utah. Yeah, it's farmland both directions and downtown, and yeah. It's interesting how rural can hit city life really quickly.
Yep.
Like where our house is, our next door neighbor who passed away around Christmas time, he was 98 years old, World War II veteran, awesome guy. His name was Tug because he was in the Navy and he worked on a tugboat, so his name was Tug. Really awesome person, but his house was the first house on our street. Built in 1955. Him and his wife built the house from the ground up, and our house was an apricot orchard. So there was a whole orchard that ran through our property, and then in our backyard we still have one of the original apricot trees. It's over like 100 and something years old, which is really cool. So I'm hungry now. Hey, I already ate my dinner. I had a barbecue chicken gorgonzola pizza, which was awesome.
Hey, I'm gonna show you some irony. A few minutes ago, a text message came over my phone down there that I had to respond to. My wife was like, "There's some stuffed salmon, you know, in the oven waiting on me when I get through."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we eat a little bit of salmon.
Oh, I would eat, like if someone gave me salmon, I would devour it. I'm not going to buy it if I don't have to.
Okay, now now that we're on that, do the salmon that you caught or somebody that you know caught, you cook it in the oven, do you eat the skin?
No.
Do you know anybody that eats the skin?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't, but I've always wondered, is there somebody somewhere?
Oh, I'm sure there is. There's got to be some person that eats the skins. I just think that's gross, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But then again, it's really interesting and awesome when you are on the Kenai River in Alaska. You catch a fish, you pull it out of the water, you take it right to the deck, and you fillet it yourself, and you put it in the bags, and it goes right in the freezer. Like, there's something just so awesome about that, knowing that fish is coming back to my house to get frozen and then eaten at some point. Like, I'll pull a salmon out of one of the bags, and it'll still have a sea lice on it. Like, that's how fresh those fish are. Like, they're coming right out of the ocean, right up the river, and they still have sea lice stuck to their bodies. It's just the coolest thing ever. Erica, come on. Yeah, but you're eating probably silver salmon, or steelhead. Steelhead, you probably could get away with it because it's more of like a trout skin. But no, I wouldn't eat the skin.
Bear don't even eat the skin.
Yeah.
You see him on camera peeling it. Yeah, bear don't even eat the skin.
Yeah, I'm not a skin person. I don't like that. I don't like the texture. I mean, if you descale it, maybe, but I don't want to go through the effort of descaling a fish. That just sounds like way too much work.
Right.
And then also the best way to cook salmon, if anyone's asking, because I'm sure someone's going to, is you make a little tinfoil boat. So you put the salmon in the middle, tinfoil boat, a couple little pieces of butter or whatever you like to use. Can't believe it's not butter, whatever, margarine, and then lemon pepper. You just sprinkle some of that on there and fold it up and throw it in the oven at like 300 and 400 degrees, and boom, done.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way we cook.
Yep.
Puckers,
You don't
I almost
need it.
killed people when I was on keto. Puckers.
Yeah, I'm not a diet person. I am not a diet person.
I mean, I was during the height of my weightlifting, time. How I did intermittent fasting, I counted micros, and macros. I did the whole nine. I'm telling you, that keto had me. I was a beast at all times. Just a monster, man. Cause the no carbs. Oh my god.
Yeah, I love carbs. I couldn't do that. When I was vegetarian, I pretty much ate exclusively carbs, which was great.
See, you can trade. Like, if you're looking at your sugars as opposed to your carbs, you can have them both, but you have to trade. You can't have them both at the same time. Now, with me, I'm not super protein sensitive. Genetically, since I'm just, I'm big, I have a lot of muscle anyway. I don't need but a small amount of protein. Carbs, I'm super carb sensitive. Oh man, I'll wake up with headaches, carb headaches. If I don't have enough during the day, the back of my neck gets tight and my attitude gets bad. Oh man.
It sounds like my fiance. Yeah, she gets really bad migraines. I get really bad migraines as well. That's some of the reasons why I don't film a whole lot is because my migraines are so bad. But yeah, she gets really bad ones from gluten and all sorts of stuff too. So food is actually one of the largest triggers for people to have headaches or migraines. And it could be something as simple as not enough salt, which is really weird to think, but some people need more salt.
Yeah. And that was the one thing I found out, during my little fitness time was you'll find out exactly, like, people like, man, I have this urge for this and this urge for that. I'm like, well, your body knows what it's lacking, one thing. But you have to know the difference, because sometimes if you're talking about like sugar, it's like dope.
I have a problem with sugar.
Yeah, so your body will play tricks on you in regards to sugar, though.
Oh, yeah. It gets addicted to it real quick. I have a fish and sugar addiction. I have a Swedish fish addiction as well. That's another problem that I've got is Swedish fish.
You know, man, I'm gonna have to look for some Swedish fish. I've seen, I think it's an up north thing. I'll see memes and people talk about Swedish fish, but like down in Texas,
You guys don't have them down there?
I mean, you see them, but I don't know many people that's eating
Yeah.
Swedish fish candy.
But I mean, that's kind of like Big Red down south. We don't have that up here.
Yeah.
So that's it's a regional thing. Just like up in Washington, Oregon State, they've got Burgerville, which is my favorite burger place ever. Which even though I don't eat there, but they still have like the best milkshakes and all that. I honestly don't like In-N-Out Burger. I think it's garbage. That is probably gonna get me like unfollowed by like 100 people, which is fine. That's my opinion though. And I've never eaten at a Whataburger, so like that's I can't say anything about a Whataburger. I've never eaten there. So
it's probably in the chat. Don't say nothing about
So it's all about like where you're from, really. I mean, it's all going to be regional. Just like you guys have the Pet Supply Plus, we don't. This dog is going crazy. Let me get this dog real quick, and then I'll be right back.
Gotcha. Hey everybody. Hey, we're glad to see you here tonight. I would like to say this was an epic live stream tonight. See a lot of people in the chat, that I haven't seen before. Welcome. Thank you all for coming through and visit. We're here every Friday at 10:30 p.m. Central Time. I like to consider my stream like an extended hug. If you have any problems, in life, things you're going with, you need, somebody to lean on, somebody to talk to, you can always come to this stream, and there's always going to be some people in the chat that can identify with what you're going through, and will be glad to give you some, advice, point you in some right directions. Fish fam, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm proud of all of y'all. Thank you from me. Thank you very much for being so open and, accepting to people, just period. Fish lovers or not. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, especially in these days and times with the things that we're going through. To know that you have, people that you can lean on is a beautiful thing. There's so many people thinking they're out here alone when they're not. Seattle most famous, but their food is definition of greasy mediocrity. Thank God no one from Seattle is in the chat. I'd be killed for this opinion. Yeah, because I hadn't even heard of Dick's Burger Place. But yeah, Whataburger is it here in Texas. Fishy Biz Aquatics, what's cracking? Hey! Hey, y'all, Fishy Biz sent me that incredible hook up there. Can you see it? As well as this towel over here. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much.
All right, I am back. Sorry about that. It is cold enough outside to see my breath.
Man, I'm not. Part of me is looking forward to the cold. Then there's another part of me not so much.
No. As a fish guy now with a whole garage full of fish, I'm like, can it stay at like a 75 degrees all year round? It'd be so nice.
Like the people in Florida, man, hey, y'all got it going on when it comes
to well, but then they got hurricanes.
Well,
see, and just like you guys do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Our weather fluctuates, but we still have hurricanes.
Yeah, like Utah is like this like little gem of a bowl where we've had one tornado in, I think it was 95 in Salt Lake, and that was the only one ever. It just snows. So, I mean, that's
well, see, I wouldn't be used to the snow.
Yeah.
We had, I'm going to say the year had to be maybe 2008, 2009-ish. And we had a pretty heavy snow here in Texas. that was when I found out snow could actually make you wet.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I would look at the people, skiing on, TV, and I'm like, hey, man, that looks fun. The powder, but that's what they called it,
Yeah.
the powder, they hitting people with it. I'm like, hey, that looks real cool. Till I'm out in it, and it's hitting me.
And it's just soaking you. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, my goodness. Nobody told me that this would be like this.
That's why I don't ski anymore. Because I hate being cold and I hate being wet. So I don't ski. Don't ski anymore. I used to ski a lot. Of course, growing up in Utah, I mean, you kind of have to. So I started skiing. I think it was at 2 years old I started skiing. So been skiing almost my whole life.
Skiing. Yeah, I still might. Our last kid, I have 3 babies, 25, 19, and 17. My 19-year-old Sunday will be 20.
Ooh.
So my youngest is a senior. I don't know. I might take my wife to some. She's not big on the cold either, but she has a desire to go places, and I don't have a desire to go anywhere. But
Right.
It's my wife. I might. If I'm just paying for me and her, I might go ahead and take her somewhere and let her see that snow gets her wet, and then we can come back home.
If you guys want to come out to Utah, just let me know. We got places to stay.
Hey,
More
most
than
definitely.
welcome. More than welcome.
Definitely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, that's something that it's kind of nice. All my family's here. All my fiance's family's here, except for her extended family's in California. My extended family's in Washington State. But we got houses all over the place. People everywhere have beds and everything. People
Okay.
are more than welcome to stay anywhere. We're very open and hospitable people. So, especially to the fish fam. So,
Okay, most definitely.
Erica, you can come too. Yeah, go for it. We got 2 guest rooms at our house. We got 4 at my in-laws' house. So there's a lot of people we can sleep up there. And they live up in Park City too, so there's even closer to the mountains.
So how far up the mountain be from you? I mean, are you on the same level with it? Because I know a lot of places.
Yeah.
This is a strange comparison, but California, you have Big Bear, right?
Yeah.
And I've been to certain places in California where you're here and you look way up, you can see the snow-capped mountains, but they're way up there,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm on what's called the East Bench. So you've got Salt Lake Valley, which is just your bowl, right? So we have mountains all the way around us, all sides. Wasatch Mountain Range runs right through Salt Lake City, and I'm on the East Bench of that. So pretty much I'm right at the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains. To get up to the closest mountain, I'm 5 minutes away from the base of the mountain, and then to hit my first canyon, 6 minutes, and then to get to Park City, I'm another 22 minutes, 23 minutes. So pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah, it snowed a couple more times than that for me. It snowed the other day when we had that windstorm.
I heard snow, if you eat snow, it makes you sick. Is that true?
No, I've eaten snow 100 times.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just like drinking out of your hose, like
Okay.
Yeah.
In Texas, we did a lot of hose drinking.
Yeah, I mean we do it too. It's just it's something you do. It's
And
But no, some snow can make you sick. Like if it's
yellow
this,
snow.
yeah, or if it's the snow that's on the side of the road because they're putting salt or whatever in it.
Yeah.
But you're up on the mountain and you just want to eat some snow, go for it. But it will actually. It's not recommended to eat snow if you're outside, like trying to stay warm, because it'll cool your internal temperature and cause you to get hypothermia. So
It makes sense.
So that's just something to think about there.
And the thing about that is, if you're actually out there and you're stuck, the brain will start to
Yep.
you'll
Do
think,
weird
well,
stuff.
it's snow, yeah.
Yeah, do weird stuff. Yeah, like that video, I don't know if you'd seen it or not, of the guy getting chased by that mountain lion. It's been all over the internet. That was down in Provo Canyon, which is about 20 miles, 30 miles down south of me.
Was this the one where it was coming towards him? And he was like,
Yeah.
"Yo," and it was hot.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
here in pretty close to Salt Lake. So, and I've been on that canyon many times, walked it before. It's close by.
Benny, what's happening? What's happening? Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah. Got the Aussies in the house.
Hey, when I saw that, now, it's happened to me a few times before, but especially watching that video. I mean, all my life I've been seeing what, cougars slash puma slash mountain lion slash what they'll do possibly when you're in their area. But yet you have so many people, hey, let me go on this tranquil bike ride.
Yep.
I feel like jogging in these mountains. And
Oh, I do it all the time. Yeah.
Huh? No.
I do it all the time. I'm actually planning on going up on Sunday by myself, up into the mountains, see if I can find some native fish.
No.
So,
the mountain lion is enough for me to say.
I'm less afraid of the mountain lions as I am of moose. So moose are the #1 killers in Utah. They will kill more people. And I would rather die from a mountain lion because a mountain lion will kill me faster than a moose because a moose will maul you and leave you to die.
Throw you around. Yeah,
so
moose is kind of like a bull here.
Yeah. Yeah, a bull on bull steroids.
Yeah.
That's angrier with bigger horns and is bigger. So
yeah, I was gonna say a whole lot.
Whole lot bigger. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I would be fine with a mountain lion because as long as you stay tall, you're good. And as long as they're not behind you, that's the tricky part. Is if they're above you and behind you, you're kind of SOL.
Oh, and it's real easy to not know that they're coming.
Oh,
also.
Yeah. There's a family story that we've got. So my dad's side of the family also lived in Washington State. They lived on another river in Washington State up in Omak. And their farm there had a big, huge oak tree right in the front yard, right outside the front door. And my great uncle, he was walking out one day to go check on his cattle that he had. And there was a huge mountain lion up in the oak tree. So he just had his cup of coffee in his hand. He turned around, went back into the house, grabbed his shotgun, grabbed his camera, walked back out, took a picture of the mountain lion in the tree, set the camera down, shot the mountain lion, went and got the photo developed, and then we still have that photo. Like, it's just the weirdest thing. Like, it's just right out front of his front door, just eating all of his cattle. Crazy.
Yeah, time to move out.
Yeah.
For the mountain lion, that is.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure my great uncle, who's now passed away, probably killed 5 or 6 or maybe even more mountain lions just because they were eating the calves and stuff on the farm.
Yeah, my uncle lives in North Carolina. He grew up in Texas. He's been there a few years now, but he sent videos with like black bear, just in your front yard, backyard, in your trash, sitting on your porch, looking in your kitchen window,
Yep. Yeah, I don't have that.
You can't do anything to them unless they make you feel like you're in danger. But who can judge that?
Yeah, I always feel in danger. Come on now.
I got a whole bear on my front porch. Yeah. I feel like I'm in danger. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we coming up on 2 hours. We need to get on up out of here.
Sounds great.
Get some of the salmon and put it in a tortilla because I make tacos out of everything.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can make a taco out of almost anything. Hot dog and a taco. I'll get in trouble for that though.
Hey, I've done it. I put everything in a taco.
See, my lady is of Hispanic heritage, so I have been taco schooled over the last 3 years and been told that all of my knowledge of tacos is wrong. So,
right.
I'm okay with that because now I eat better, but I also got more weight on my body because I eat better. So, there's a give and take on that for sure.
For real. Hey, everybody in the chat, glad to see you guys here tonight. Thank you for coming through for this epic interview. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Guppy Guru. Man, much respect for what you're doing, man, what you got going on. I'm so very proud of you. Hey, all I can say, man, is many more blessings.
For sure. I really appreciate it.
To you and the soon-to-be missus,
Thank you.
hey, God
No,
bless you, man. Thank you for coming through.
thank you. Bless you as well. And thank you, everybody in the chat. Benny, leave them in as long as you want as well, just until they are fine. So.
All right, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for coming through. And if Anthony's Fishy Friends is streaming over there late, y'all go over there and check my boy out. Peace.